Looking for Paladin gear you can snag in pre-patch that lasts until Pre Raid BiS? Then my spreadsheet is exactly what you're looking for. It covers all the PvP gear with the cost per item in honor points and marks, how long each item lasts on your way to 70, which items replace them, where to get them, and of course the total number for just armor, weapons, and everything combined. If you're unaware of the PvP system changes that pre-patch brings, I'll cover that with an extra little secret tip later in the video, and also if you're interested in an explanation of the spreadsheet, the color coding and that kind of stuff, that's also later in the video. But for now, let's crack on with the gear in pre-patch that can last you until Pre Raid BiS. Alright Paladins, we're going to go over Protection, Holy, and Retribution specs in this one, as the level 60 PvP gear covers all three specs with a surprising amount of value all round. Because of this, you're going to see a lot of overlap with the gear that's listed, but each spec's replacement gear from their pre-BiS varies, so it's worth paying attention. As well, a nice benefit of this is the PvP gear lets you have a little bit more flexibility if you're undecided on which spec to level as. With that said, let's kick off with the prop pallies. First up is the helm that can last you up to level 67, with one option being from a Netherstorm quest and the other option being from a dungeon drop. The PvP gloves will see you through to level 67 as well, with two similar options for pre-BiS replacements, and the same can be said for the legs that again last through to 67 with two more options for replacements. Next up is the chest that lasts through to 64, with a similar situation for the PvP shield that can also be replaced at 64. And that brings us to two items that I recommend you avoid due to the time investment required to get them and how early they can be replaced. The PvP shoulders are good until 63, and the one-hand weapon is replaced as early as level 61, so you're better off avoiding these entirely. Moving on to the Retribution gear and starting off with a two-hand sword, which is competitive up to level 68 when replaced with a drop from the Setek halls. The PvP gloves are also great value, lasting through till level 68 when replaced with an easy to obtain quest reward. The shoulders are decent as well, lasting through to 66 when replaced with a drop from the old Hillsbrad foothills, leaving the PvP helm and the legs that each last until level 65 and have replacements from a quest or an alternative drop from a dungeon as well, which has the PvP chest come in last place that I recommend you avoid as Retribution, because you can replace this as early as level 61 with an incredibly strong item from the Blood Furnace. And finally, we have the Holy Paladin gear. The PvP shield seems to have the best value as it can last through to level 70. The PvP chest finally comes into play, lasting through until level 68. The PvP legs are a decent option as well, lasting through to 67 when replaced by a quest reward for the Alcatraz Key prerequisite quest line, which leaves a few items that are still decent choices for a healer, but of course means more time spent farming honor and marks in pre-patch. If you're desperate to cover all the gear in pre-patch, I suggest you take a look at the spreadsheet and see which pieces you think are worth grabbing the rare PvP alternatives for to save you some time and resources. So we've got the PvP helm that lasts through to level 66, as do the shoulders that are also replaced by an old Hillsbrad foothill drop. And then we've got the PvP one-hand weapon, which still holds decent value through to level 65. And in last place are the PvP gloves that last until level 64 when replaced by a crest reward for completing the Mana Tombs dungeon. The traditional rank requirement for gear is removed, as is the reputation requirement for rep gear. Instead, you accrue honor points for participating in battlegrounds, and each battleground rewards you its own respective mark. It's 3 marks for a win and 1 mark for a loss. You save those points and marks up to then spend on PvP gear. So that secret tip is that you can build up your reserves of honor points and battleground marks, which stack up to 100 by the way, in preparation for when you hit level 70. Then you can head straight to the PvP gear vendor and snag some seriously powerful gear the moment you dig, which can get you some Pre Raid BiS or better gear instantly. So the spreadsheet is laid out from left to right to show you the level 60 PvP item name, the item slot, honor point cost, the number of marks and which battleground you need to target to get those marks, a link to the item in the TBC Classic database, and then the name of the most solid item upgrade that you'll get in Outland, the earliest level that you can get that item, again a link to the item in the TBC Classic database, and then any comments that are worth bearing in mind and possible alternatives that you should consider. I've also got some color coding and effect as well, as I'm always updating these spreadsheets for all classes as part of my ongoing feedback from the community or discoveries that I make during my research. Green is for items that are strongly recommended. Yellow are still decent items but don't last quite as long as the others. Orange are recommended but they have comments worth considering. And finally, red for items that would be green and definitely worth picking up, but I'm holding out with a little bit of skepticism over these items and further research is required. If you can help out with these, please drop a comment or contact me on Discord so I can make further amendments as we go along. If you've got any items that I need to know about, please drop a message in the comments or ping me on Discord so I can take a look and update the spreadsheet as needed. Be sure to share this resource with guildies and friends as I'll continue making my way through all classes and the relevant specs. Subscribe to see more videos, drop a like or dislike to let me know how you found the video, head over to Twitch and drop a follow to catch me live, and hopefully I will see you next time. Peace!